$59,000 US. Yes, you heard it right. That's enough to buy you a real farmstead in Georgia. Not a shed, not a parking spot, a place with land, trees, and a house you can actually stand in. And I know that sounds too good to be true, and you probably don't believe me. So here is the proof, an active listing from land.com. Not only this, but in this video, I'm showing you 15 more dirt cheap Georgia farmsteads, real listings in quiet rural counties, where land still costs less than a used pickup truck. These aren't fantasy plots. Many already have houses, wells, septic systems, outbuildings, barns, or acreage that make off-grid and self-reliant living actually possible. We will begin the video with properties that cost just over $100,000 and slowly work our way to the cheapest property that costs only $59,000. And if you want the exact addresses, prices, and contact info, just subscribe and comment list. I'll drop everything in the video. Description. Let's get into it. The first property on our list takes us to Ellijay in Georgia. This place starts with a peaceful mountain area vibe just outside downtown Ellijay. A 3-bed, 1-bath home on about 192 acres with roughly 1,184 square feet of space, blending cozy living with enough room to enjoy the outdoors without feeling boxed in. It sits in a quiet neighborhood that feels tucked into the foothills, which is exactly why a lot of people look toward Ellijay when they want nature and community close together. Hold on before you guess the price. We'll get to that after I explain how Ellijay actually looks like. Ellijay itself is a small mountain town known for hiking, orchards, and outdoor lifestyle. You're close to trails, rivers, and weekend markets without giving up everyday convenience in town. Inside, this home opens into a warm and functional layout where the living space flows into the kitchen and dining area, and you've got bedrooms that feel private and comfortable, perfect for family living or guest space. There's also a 2-car garage and driveway that make daily life easier. No tiny parking hassles here. Now the honest part, this isn't a brand new construction. It's lived in and might benefit from personal touches or updates to fit your style. All of this currently lists for about $142,500. Next one takes us to Somerville in Georgia. This one starts with classic small-town charm right in Somerville, Georgia. A 2-bed, 1-bath home on a comfortable residential lot that gives you space without feeling isolated. Just a short drive from town amenities. At around 904 square feet, this brick ranch has a layout that feels familiar and functional, with room inside for everyday living and yard space outside for pets, play, or just enjoying quiet evenings. Hold on before you guess the price. We'll get to that in a moment, because like always, let's understand the county first. Somerville is a small town in northwest Georgia with easy access to local shops, schools, and everyday errands. Yet still that country feels most city folk crave when they slow down. Inside, the home flows from the living room into the kitchen and dining area, with bedrooms down the hall that keep everyday life convenient. The yard out back feels private enough, and the neighborhood itself has that slow-paced Georgia vibe where neighbors wave when you're pulling in. It's the kind of setup that works for first-time buyers, downsizers, or anyone who wants a manageable home without huge land to maintain. Now the honest part, this isn't a brand new build, and you'll likely want to do a few personal updates to make it feel modern and truly yours. All of this currently lists for around $149,900. Next property takes us to Spring, Georgia. This property starts with a classic countryside setting in Cave Spring, Georgia, with a 2-bed, 1-bath home that sits back from the road and gives you a peaceful feel right when you pull in. At around 1.01 acre, this home has enough space inside for everyday life, and the land around it feels private and usable, perfect for pets, gardens, or just enjoying your own outdoor space without neighbors on top of you. Hold on before you guess the price. We'll get to that next. Inside, the layout is classic and straightforward. Kitchen opens to dining space, living area sits up front, and the bedrooms are arranged in a way that feels sensible and easy to live in. There's a cozy front porch for morning coffee and a yard that feels big enough for almost anything you want to do. Kids' play area, dogs, a garden. maybe even a fire pit down the line. Cave Spring itself is known for that small-town feel. Friendly folks, local rhythm, and nature trails not too far away, giving you a mix of calm and convenience. Now the honest part, this is a lived-in home, not brand new, so it could benefit from updates to make it modern. All of this currently lists for about $159,000. The next property takes us to Donalsonville. This one starts with a real rural vibe right on Rhodes Ferry Road in Donalsonville, Georgia. A 1.9-acre property with a 3-bed, 2-bath home that gives you space and simplicity outside the busier parts of town. At about 1,190 square feet, this house feels practical and roomy, and that land around it gives you options for a yard, workshop, garden, or just quiet country living. Hold on before you guess the price. We'll get there in a moment. Inside, the layout is straightforward. Living room, kitchen, bedrooms, and bathrooms, all arranged in a way that works for everyday life without anything wasted. The yard wraps around the house and feels private enough for pets or outdoor projects. There's a nice covered front porch where you can sit and watch the world slow down. Kind of the country dream for a lot of buyers. Donalsonville itself is a small southwest Georgia town where life moves at a relaxed pace. You're a short drive from groceries and essentials, but choice land like this lets you feel a little removed from noise and congestion. Now the honest part, this home isn't brand new. It's lived in and will likely benefit from personal updates to make it feel modern. All of this currently lists for about $160,000. Next property sits in Cordele, Georgia. This property starts with plenty of room and flexibility. A 3-bed, 2-bath home on about 2.5 acres in Cordele, Georgia, just outside town where country living meets convenience. At roughly 1,200 square feet, this brick ranch gives you space inside and out with a layout that works for everyday family life, outdoor projects, and that just enough land feel without being overwhelming. Hold on before you guess the price. We'll get there next. Inside, the home feels open and functional with living space flowing into the kitchen, dining area, and bedrooms off the main hallway. You've got a large yard out back. That's perfect for pets, a garden, or even a future shed or shop. Mature trees around the property give you shade and a sense of privacy that's hard to find this side of town. Cordele itself is a small city in south-central Georgia. Slow-paced, friendly, with easy access to groceries, schools, and everyday errands without long drives. You're close to Lake Blackshear and parks if you like outdoor time, and neighbors are the kind that wave when you pull into the driveway. Now the honest part, it's not brand new construction. It's lived in and may benefit from personal updates, but that's part of why homes at this price point still exist here. All of this currently lists for about $169,000. Now let's go to Union Point in Georgia, where our next property is. This property starts with classic country living with room to grow. A 3-bed, 2-bath home on about 1.9 acres in Union Point, Georgia, with a traditional layout and just enough land to give you privacy without being totally isolated. At roughly 1,140 square feet, it's spacious enough for everyday life, and the yard around it feels open and usable. Great for pets, gardening, or just enjoying quiet evenings outside. Hold on before you guess the price. We'll talk numbers next. Inside, the home has a simple but functional layout with living space that flows into the kitchen and dining area, and bedrooms arranged to keep everyday life convenient. Nothing fancy, but plenty of room to make updates or personal touches if that's your style. The sloped land and yard give you options for outdoor space, whether that's a fire pit, play area, or storage barn in the future. Union Point itself is a small Georgia town with that classic small-town vibe. Slow pace, friendly neighbors, and the kind of place where you get used to waving at people you see every day. You'll need a car for regular errands, but that's part of the rhythm here. Now the honest part. This isn't brand new. Construction. It's lived in and could use some updating to feel modern. All of this currently lists for about $180,000. Next property brings us to Cairo in Georgia. This one starts with classic small-town country living in Cairo, Georgia. A 4-bed, 2-bath brick ranch home sitting on a quiet half-acre lot with mature trees and that relaxed pace you expect outside the hustle and bustle. At about 2,050 square feet, it's roomy enough for everyday family life, with space inside and out that feels usable and comfortable without being overwhelming. Hold on before you guess the price. We'll get to that soon. Inside, you've got a straightforward layout with living room, kitchen, dining area, and bedrooms all in classic ranch fashion. Nothing flashy, but it's solid and livable with room to personalize or update if you want to make it truly yours. The yard around it gives you options too. Pets, a garden, play space, or just a place to sit on a warm evening. Cairo itself is a small town in southwestern Georgia where days move slowly, neighbors wave, and errands usually mean a short drive. You're close to local shops and schools, yet still in that country town feel. Now the honest part, this isn't brand new construction. It's lived in and might benefit from some updates, but that's part of its charm and price point. All of this currently lists for around $179,000. The next property brings us to Macon County, Georgia. This one grabs your attention with space and versatility right on Jeffersonville Road in Macon, Georgia. A big 5.2-acre lot with a house that's around 164 square feet and set up with 4 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. It's one of those properties that feels larger than it looks at first glance, with land that gives you open backyard space and room for projects, storage, or even future expansions. Hold on before you guess the price. We'll understand better if we look at the neighborhood first. This property sits in Macon. It is a mid-sized Georgia city with city amenities not too far away, but still pockets of rural calm when you want them. Driving is part of life here. Groceries, coffee, errands. It's a car kind of place. Inside the home, you've got a classic older layout with a set of bedrooms and living space that gives you flexibility, whether you want to live in it as is, rent it out, or even update over time. That 5.2 acres means you're not boxed in by neighbors, and the property shares a driveway with the next lot. But you can still feel like you've got your own slice of land out here in Bibb County. Now the honest part, this is an older home, and it's not turnkey. You may want to update or personalize to make it truly yours. All of this currently lists for about $93,000. The next property takes us to Reidsville in Georgia. This one starts with a quiet country setup close to town. A 1.73-acre lot in Reidsville, Georgia, with a 3-bed, 2-bath manufactured home that gives you space inside and out. At about 1,052 square feet, it's not huge, but it's big enough for everyday living and comes with land shaded by oak trees, giving you a calm, rural feel just off the main roads out here. Hold on before you guess the price. We'll talk numbers in a sec. Let's spill the tea about Reidsville first. Reidsville is a small town in Tatnall County where days move slower, neighbors wave, and errands usually mean a short drive into town. School options, services, and small-town life are all part of the deal here. Inside, the layout gives you 3 bedrooms and 2 full bathrooms, a kitchen dining combo, living room, and utility space. Practical and simple. The home was built in 1994, so it's not brand new, but it's lived in and stands out compared with tiny cookie-cutter places because you've actually got acreage to stretch out on. Now, the honest part. This home may need a little updating and personal touches. It's not a designer showcase, but that's also part of the opportunity when you're buying at this price point. All of this currently lists for about $119,000 to $900. The next property takes us to Vidalia in Georgia. This one starts with a quiet neighborhood feel on a big lot. A 2-bed, 2-bath home on nearly half an acre in Vidalia, Georgia, tucked away on a street called Hidden Hammock that actually feels hidden from the busier parts of town. At about 1,470 square feet, it's spacious inside and gives you room to live without feeling cramped or boxed in. Hold on before you guess the price. We'll get to that next. Inside, it opens up with a vaulted living room that flows into a practical kitchen, and you've got a split bedroom layout so the primary suite is on its own side for more privacy. The backyard is a nice size and feels usable, perfect for a grill, a garden, or just hanging out with space around you instead of right on top of your neighbor. Vidalia itself is a small but lively town. known for its sweet onions, of course, with easy access to shops, schools, and everyday errands without long drives. It's one of those places where your neighbors actually wave when you drive by. Now the trade-offs. This is a lived-in home, not a brand new build, so it's got character, and you'll want to do some updates or personalization to truly make it yours. All of this currently lists for about $192,000. The next property brings us to Mountain Pine in Georgia. This one feels like a classic mountain getaway right in Pine Mountain Club Chalet's resort, a fully furnished 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom chalet with roughly 1,104 square feet of living space, tucked into a quiet wooded setting where the whole vibe is relaxed and retreat-ready. It's in a gated resort community with amenities that make it more than just a house. It feels like a built-in getaway. Hold on before you guess the price. We'll talk numbers in a moment, because you should first understand what you are getting. Inside, the layout is open and functional, with a living area that flows into the kitchen and dining space, 2 comfortable bedrooms, and easy access to outdoor spaces like a front deck where you can sip coffee or unwind after a hike. The wood-accented interior and cozy touches fit the mountain style most buyers are looking for in this area. The real draw here is the community. You've got access to a fishing lake, pool, tennis and pickleball courts, playgrounds, and a recreation center within Pine Mountain Club. It's like vacation living 365 days a year. Now the trade-offs. This is in a resort. Association, meaning HOA and rules on how you use the property. So it's not typical town living, and long-term residency isn't always part of the plan. All of this currently lists for around $120,000. Next up, we go to Sylvania in Georgia. This property starts with country privacy right outside town, about 1.47 acres in Sylvania, Georgia, with a 4-bed, 2-bath manufactured home sitting out on its own slice of land. At 1,140 square feet, it's roomy inside and gives you flexibility to live in as-is or make it your own with updates. Hold on before you guess the price. We'll get to that soon. The home is a fixer-upper, and remodeling has already been started. You're not starting completely from zero. New roofing materials are included, along with a 15x20 front porch that's ready to go. There's even a concrete slab perfect for a barn or shed if you want storage or a workshop. The land feels private and quiet, with big yard space around you and nature on all sides. Sylvania itself is a small town in Screven County. Calm, friendly, and the kind of place where country roads and slow days are normal. You'll almost always need a car for errands, but quiet and space come with that trade-off. Now the honest part, this is a remodel project, not move-in perfect. So it's ideal for someone who's ready to roll up their sleeves. All of this currently lists for about $129,000. Let's journey to Folkston for our next property. This property starts with move-in ready ease right on the edge of town. A 1.48-acre corner lot in Folkston, Georgia, with a 3-bedroom, 2-bath manufactured home that feels roomy at about 1,176 square feet and built in 2011. It's the kind of place where you can unpack boxes and actually start living the next day, not waiting on repairs. Hold on before you guess the price. We'll get there next. Inside, the open layout flows from a kitchen with a breakfast bar into the dining and family area, all under a vaulted ceiling that makes the space feel bigger than the numbers suggest. The primary suite sits on its own side with an oversized bathroom, and the other 2 bedrooms and second bath sit opposite, giving you a nice split-plan layout that works whether you're living here full-time or planning to rent it out. There's even a mudroom child laundry area and a front porch perfect for morning coffee. Out back is a partially fenced yard for privacy, and an outbuilding with storage and loft space. Handy room for tools, toys, or projects. Utilities run on a deep well, so you're saving on water bills, and this spot doesn't require flood insurance. Now the trade-offs. This is still manufactured home living, not luxury, and you'll need a car for everyday errands. All of this currently lists for about $135,000. The next property takes us to Sparks, Georgia. This one starts with a straightforward country living right off the U.S. Highway 41 in Sparks, Georgia. You're looking at about 1 acre of land with a roughly 900 square foot house, originally built in the 1950s. It's a 2-bedroom, One bath setup, simple in layout, and the kind of place that doesn't try to be fancy. It just gives you a starting point. Hold on before you jump to the price. We'll get there in a moment because it's important to know where you will be staying. Sparks is a small town in Cook County with a population a little over 2,000 people. Life here is quiet and practical. You'll drive for errands, but neighbors still wave, and things move at a slower pace than city living. Inside, this is clearly a project property, but not a lost cause. The structure is there, and there are even building materials already on site if you want to start repairs or updates right away. A big plus here is that the septic system and air conditioning unit are brand new, which knocks out two major expenses most buyers worry about first. Outside, that full acre gives you room for a garden, storage, animals, or just space between you and the road. Now, for the honest part, this is not move-in ready. It's a fixer-upper, and it will take time, effort, and patience. All of this is currently listed at around $59,000. We really hope you liked this video where we broke down 16 properties in Georgia for you. If you like what we post, then make sure you subscribe to the channel because it helps us a lot. We do deep research and create our videos so that you get the best and the most accurate data right on your TV.